perhaps an engine failure. Ronnie Kingston's definitely falling.
ready to go racing after a long and well-earned break in Thursday Night Thunder Series, but that's the second and final break of the season. Round number 9 comes to Joliet and the Chicagoland Speedway. Jeremy Brio on the front row, sharing with Cody Pannell, Donald Ray, and Cody Riggs in row number 2. Last week's winner, Ryan Pannell, starting in the 10th row on the outside of Thomas Andrews in the number 2 TNT Chevrolet. Pannell at the front with control of the field, ready to go racing. 22 cars in tonight's roster. Pace car peels off, green flag will fly, and 200 miles of action begins in Chicagoland. Green flag is out. Let's go racing. Drag race to lead the first lap, and by 1/100th of a second, it's Jeremy Brio, but to his outside is Cody Pannell, with Cody Riggs following behind on the outside. One of 2 drivers from Greensburg, Kentucky in tonight's race, the number 3 Smokey's Bar Chevrolet, sitting behind a 2-time winner this season, splitting the middle down the inside. 3 wide for the 3 car. Cody Riggs, brave in these first few laps to get to the inside of 2-time winner Cody Pannell. The 3 car sliding up the racetrack. Can't hold on to the momentum from sending it deep into 1. Ford, Chevy, Dodge, your top 3, and Cody Riggs showing his intentions early on in this race. Jeremy Brio sitting 3rd behind Cody Riggs. Cody Pannell leading this race. Another Kentucky pilot in the number 7-8, also from Greensburg. Toby Estes, the Skull Bandit, rocking that dark green Chevrolet to the inside of Texas Donald Ray. Toby with a 30.8 second lap has gone purple for the race. 3 laps in, he's got the fastest circuit of the evening so far. Seth Watson getting around him, the number 9 Nicorette Chevrolet sitting in the 6th position. Coming into tonight's race, Seth looking for just a bit of a boost in the point standings. He sits 10th right now, tied with Salem, South Carolina's Jason Alexander. Both of these drivers find themselves just 36 points outside of the top 5. The Bandit in the number 7-8 diving to the inside. Estes trying to get ahead of Massachusetts' Tom Sears. The 2-time Thursday Night Thunder champion sitting ahead of West Alexandria's Terry Gabbard. The freaky fast Ford Fusion being piloted by Gabbard sitting 9th right now. Gabbard with Briley right behind him, and Ohio's Terry Gabbard into the wall, making friends with the safer barrier and all the foam beneath it. He gives up the 9th position, and he's going to give up 10th to North Carolina's Dustin Painter in the 00 Aqua Fresh Pontiac. The North Carolinian, coming out of turn 4 last week, had a brilliant chance to win the race. Sitting on the top side outside turn number 4. Drag racing for the lead and the win until the number 7 of Tommy Reynolds slid up outside the lane and caused both the 00 and the 7 to spin around out of turn number 4. Dustin Painter's win taken away outside his own hands, and this week the North Carolinian looking for retribution or possibly just redemption through a top 10 finish. Terry Gabbard holding on to the back end of the top 10, while Josh Garrison, who's up 2 places from where he started, now pulls up behind Dustin Painter in an effort to take 11th. At the front, Cody Pannell's lead now under fire. Kentucky's Cody Riggs to the inside, now challenging the 2.8 MADA SMI Ford Mustang. Pannell can't quite get to the outside and take it away from Riggs, but it's the Cody and Cody show 9 laps into this race. Tommy Reynolds sitting in third, the belligerent to Dustin Painter's misery 2 weeks ago at the Talladega Superspeedway. Reynolds sits third, Pennsylvania's Jeremy Brio in fourth, and then it's the Skull Bandit Toby Estes. He's rounding out the top 5 in that 7.8 green Impala. Now, I say Impala, but if you take a close look, you'll see it says Oldsmobile right on the front. I really appreciate this paint scheme. It gets even the little details right. We only need to get some Oldsmobile headlights and tail lights to make it the genuine article. Cody Riggs is in the wall. There goes the leader. There goes Pannell as well. There's Tommy Reynolds who's spinning. The 9 of Seth Watson's going for a ride. Down the front straight, last week's winner Ryan Pannell looks to avoid all of this. And the Mobil 1 Ford crosses the line safely and comes to a slow pace. The 7 of Tommy Reynolds is up ahead. Cody Riggs involved in that accident. The Kentucky pilot fighting for the lead. All the folks over at Smokey's Bar watching one of their very own from Greensburg fighting for the race lead. Race leader Cody Pannell caught himself in the outside wall. Let's see if we can find some of the damage on the right side of that car. Yeah, you can definitely see where it's been scraped up. And caution number 1 flies over the Chicagoland Speedway. Let's take a look at the accident. There's race leader Cody Pannell in the wall. Cody Riggs looking to avoid him. Tommy Reynolds getting into the back end of Cody Riggs. Jeremy Brio also getting run into. Luckily, neither of these drivers meeting the safer barrier like race leader Cody Pannell. And let's ride along with Greensburg's Cody Riggs and watch it from his point of view. With the Taco Bell Dodge of Jeremy Brio. Let's ride along with Tommy Reynolds. Let's back it up just a bit here, get a better listen on the 7 car. Let's run it back just a bit further. Let's ride along with Cody Pannell as this unfolds for the race leader. One look with Seth Watson. Let's have one more look, this time with Donald Ray. Missed it all, and how about Toby Estes' point of view? Does not even flinch. One more look outside the 78 car. This was impressive. Unbelievably done for the 78 and for the 5 of Donald Ray. Looking at that 7.8 of Toby Estes, he's earned his very own Cole Trickle move of the race.
Ice cream!
Got to give a shout out also to Donald Ray, who owns earns his very own Cold Trickle move of the race.
Ice cream.
Well done to both of those drivers, making the folks proud over in Rockwall, Texas. The points leader, Donald Ray, comes into this 9th round with a 10-point lead over the second place tie of Tommy Withers and Thomas Andrews. Withers running in the 5th position in the number 6 Viagra Ford. Toby Estes has control of the field with North Carolina's Dustin Painter to his outside. The pace car peels off. We're going to get racing once again. Green flag is out.
Green flag.
Greensburg's Toby Estes leads the first lap after restart. He's got Dustin Painter sitting in second, Ohio's Terry Gabbard sitting in third, and he's looking for a good points run today. Chevrolet, or Oldsmobile if you will. It says Oldsmobile on the front of that car, so I guess it's an Oldsmobile. Oldsmobile, Pontiac, Ford, your top three. Here's another Kentucky pilot, Briley Wright, in the 1-8. He's up 8 places from where he started. He's one of our hardest chargers of the race thus far. And then Virginia's Tommy Withers in the number 6 Viagra Ford, second in points right now. He's watching Briley Wright overtake Terry Gabbard. That's the battle for the 3rd position. Wright finally able to clear Gabbard. And now he's cleared Withers. Terry Gabbard in the 10th position took that big hit. You saw the damage on the outside there. And Ohio's Terry Gabbard once again having a big spill. Take a look. There's Wright going to the inside of Gabbard. Keep your eye on that number 4 Jimmy John's Ford high in that second corner. And he'll be stable all through the back straight. Entering turn 3 quite high, and there's the contact with the 4 of Terry Gabbard. Run that one back. Let's have a look here just from the blimp view. Looks like the 18 sent it in a bit deep. The 4 car on the outside. He gets the brunt of that hit. Tough call, but the number 4 of Terry Gabbard perseveres nonetheless. The Ohio native and big fan of the OSU Buckeyes sitting in the 10th position right now. Richie Catania in the 9th position in the number 24 DuPont Chevrolet, chasing down Donald Ray in the GMAC Impala. Have a look at South Carolina's Jason Alexander. Jaco, as he's known to those around the garage. He's in that 10th place tie with Seth Watson. And to the outside, who would you know? Seth Watson. Both of these drivers fighting for every last point that they can scrounge up together. 21 laps underway from iRacing's Chicagoland Speedway. And if you've just tuned in, I'm Rick James. You're watching the 9th round of di9 Designs Thursday Night Thunder. This is the 4-way fight for the 7th position. Richard Catania sits at the back of this fight in the 2-4, and behind him, John Honeybrink, who's 10th right now. John Honeybrink running 10th. He's up 3 places from where he started. New Jersey's Tristan Catania making headway. The number 4-8 Arcs Chevrolet. He sits 11th in the running order right now. He's up 5 places since the green flag flew. Further up through the field, the battle for third between Tommy Withers and Briley Wright heats up. The number 6 Viagra Ford to the inside of the 1-8 Z-Line Camry. 24 laps into this race. Withers second in the points, tied for second in the points with the driver of the number 2, Thomas Andrews. Andrews finds himself 13th at the moment in the TNT MGD Chevrolet. Two-time champion Tom Sears is ahead of Stanford's Thomas Andrews only by half a second. Further up, Seth Watson battles with John Honeybrink for that 9th position as Richie Catania makes away with 8th. Jason Alexander is up 16 places from where he started in the Dodge Viper Intrepid. One of the more unique paint schemes we've seen all season. Look how close he is to the wall. The 5'3" of Alexander really risking it, but doing a fantastic job so far. He's in 6th, around points leader Donald Ray, and he's chasing down Cody Pannell in that 2-8. Pannell came down pit road during that first caution on lap number 12. And he's got fresh tires, and he's making them work for him. Briley Wright, whose tires are 26 laps old, sliding down to 5th. Jason Alexander starting to catch him up. And at the front of this race, Toby Estes and Dustin Painter side by side. The Kentucky pilot in the Skull Bandit Chevrolet leading this race over the North Carolinian in the Aqua Fresh Grand Prix, trying to take the lead away side by side through turn number 2. Let's ride along with the North Carolinian Dustin Painter. Estes mounting a good defense into that first corner, but now Dustin Painter seems to have the preferred line. Can he make it stick? Neither of these drivers pitting during the last caution. Dustin Painter with 29 lap old tires, same as Estes, side by side for the lead into 3. The Aqua Fresh Pontiac edging the Skull Bandit Chevrolet through the third corner as the Chicagoland sun sets behind both of these drivers. 3 1/2 seconds clear of their rivals, 29 laps complete. Tommy Withers in the number 6, sitting 3rd ahead of two-time winner on a part-time Season 4 schedule, Cody Pannell. He's in the 4th position, up to the 6th car of Tommy Withers, who's in the wall, and there goes the Viagra Ford with a hard slam to the safer barrier, and he's going to feel stiff after that hard one, and you can see the scratches and marks on the outside of the Viagra Ford. He's going to need some help to keep his position up through the running order. The number 6 of Tommy Withers sliding down through the field, and Briley Wright keeping his car well lubricated on the outside and in the right direction, about to finish the attack for 6th. But Tommy Withers trying to not make the same mistake twice. He's got it locked in and slid in the right slot. That number 6 Viagra Ford sitting in 6th. Donald Ray up ahead by 1 second. The Texas native sitting in 5th in the number 5 car, chasing down Jason Alexander in 4th. We were talking to Seth Watson earlier today. The driver of the number 9 Nicorette Chevrolet finds himself in 13th. Watson was telling us that it's going to be a two-line race. You can see Donald Ray using the lower of those two lines, where obviously it's going to use just a bit more tire, but it's a shorter distance around the track. Jason Alexander taking advantage of the speed and less wear on the tire. And you can see that 5'3" Intrepid is loose, chasing down Cody Pannell in the third position. Pannell in third, Alexander in fourth. Dustin Painter wrestles the lead away from Toby Estes. Let's go back and take a look at the lap 32 pass. Textbook into the third corner, the 00 Aquafresh Pontiac. Undisturbed, he's going to slide up the racetrack and cut off the advance. Estes doesn't go for the crossover. Toby finds himself half a second behind Dustin Painter. The Greensburg native looking to make his way further up through these points. Estes comes into round number 9, 20th in the points, right on the bottom of the barrel. And believe it or not, Cody Pannell in that 2-8 car running third sits 21st in the points. Not even on the charts due to his part-time schedule. But the Georgian has 2 wins this season, and he's gunning for the season's first hat trick, trying to get 3 wins in 9 races. Cody Pannell starting fewer than 6 races this season. He's got an incredible hit rate in Thursday Night Thunder. The dirt track ace from Good Hope sits ahead of Jason Alexander. The South Carolinian up 18 places from where he started. Further down through the field, you've got Tristan Catania trying to hold off double Thursday Night Thunder champion in the ARCS Supra, Tom Sears in that 1-4. From Nassau, in the Bahamas, Elrich George, enjoying some wonderful Caribbean island weather, sitting in 13th right now. A good run for George, running in the top 15. He's been on the bad receiving end of some bad luck. He finds himself 22nd in the points right now on a regular Thursday Night Thunder schedule, so it would do George a world of good to finish in the top 15. And how about it? Last week's winner from nearby Naperville, Illinois, a graduate of Northwestern University, Ryan Pannell in the 1-2 Mobile 1 Ford, winning not last week's, but the last round, round number 8 at the Talladega Super Speedway. In a last lap pass, we mentioned Dustin Painter and Tommy Reynolds crashing out of turn number 4, enabling Ryan Pannell to get the W. His first win of the season, his second ever Thursday Night Thunder victory. And the Illinois native, a fan of Tony Schumacher as a child, scrapes the wall. And now giving up the advantage on that 13th place. The 2-4. I'm sorry, that's the 9. Dressed as the 2-4, isn't it? The 9 of Seth Watson with the Jeff Gordon paint scheme now hits the wall. There goes the Nicorette DuPont Chevrolet. Following suit with Ryan Pannell. Donald Ray, the points leader, is on the way in. Toby Estes, one of the fastest cars on the track, also on the way in. Cody Riggs, the other Greensburg, Kentucky driver, sitting 17th right now. Suicideways, as he was known on the Xbox side. Trying to take that number 3 Smokies Chevrolet further up through this field, and it looks like we've got more takers down pit road. There is Good Hope's Cody Pannell on the way in. North Carolina's Dustin Painter also down pit road, and the floodgates have opened for all the drivers to make their way in on lap 40 of 133. And in this 200-mile race, there you see the green flag pit window, approximately 35 to 45 laps. Only 3 drivers left on the field that have not pitted. Jason Alexander yet to take a break on the sidelines, but now the coach is making a substitution, and the 5-3 will have to come down for a water break. And there goes Central Florida's Richie Catania in the number 2-4 DuPont Bonnie Carlo. He's on the way for tires and fuel. Pennsylvania's Jeremy Brio, also one of the pit gang on lap 41. Time for tires and fuel for him. Tommy Withers who had that blunt slap into the outside wall of turn number 2 in the Pfizer Viagra Ford Taurus, sitting second right now behind Stamford, Connecticut's Thomas Andrews. There goes Withers. He's going to dive down deep into pit road for 4 tires, fuel, and he's going to keep that car moving. Thomas Andrews, the race leader so far, with a reputation for stretching the mileage, stretching the resources. The TNT Miller Genuine Draft Impala leading this race. He's got a 3-second advantage to Tristan Catania, who just got overtaken by Dustin Painter in the 0-0, just scything across the racetrack. Right in front of that 48. Race leader Thomas Andrews is in, really skidding those tires on the way down pit road, and that's going to cost him a bundle on the way out. Thomas Andrews, with old worn tires, loses control on the way. That's going to put Tristan Catania as your new race leader for only a brief moment, because here comes Tom Sears on the outside in the 1-4 ARX Supra. Both of these drivers last pitting on lap number 12, so their tires about 30 laps old. They soon will enter the pit window. There's Dan Maddox to the inside of Tom Sears in the 1-4 this last time around. Tom Sears, with 30 lap old tires, puts in a lap of 33.47. Daniel Maddox, with fresh tires, puts in a lap of 31.68. Nearly a 3-second difference from the Virginian in the Kodiak Pontiac to the Massachusetts pilot in the ARX Supra. Catania on the way down pit road. He's going to relinquish top spot, and your new leader, Tom Sears, in the 1-4 Supra. John Honeybrink taking the second position in the 2-0 Home Depot Chevrolet. And last race's winner, Ryan Pannell, sitting in third. He pitted on lap 13. Josh Garrison also pitting on lap 13. The 4-4 Coast Guard Intrepid chasing down the Mobil 1 Taurus for the bronze medal position. Looking at drivers that did come down pit road on lap 38 and so on, Toby Estes finds himself in the 6th position while we wait for this second round of pit stop cycles to come through. Only the top 5 drivers are off cycle for the moment. That's Tom Sears currently leading, John Honeybrink in that second position, Ryan Pannell, who's in third, being vigorously overtaken by Thomas Withers in the 6th, Richie Catania in the 2-4, and soon to be Josh Garrison in the 4-4. Pannell sitting in third. Elrich George, the 5th of those drivers that didn't come down pit road. And there is Toby Estes, 3.6 seconds ahead of Dustin Painter in the Aqua Fresh Pontiac. And then Cody Pannell in the SMI Ford Mustang, sitting third of those drivers that did come down. So these cars at the front, Tom Sears, John Honeybrink, and the rest of the top 5, all desperately wishing that a yellow flag would come out. But their time will soon come to dive down pit road, get those 4 tires and fuel, and continue this green flag cycle. Tommy Withers behind the 1-4 and the 2-4. He's trying to get his lap back from Tom Sears. Let's ride along with the race leader, have a look at the hands of a driver with extremely worn tires. You can hear that throttle being feathered through the corners. Tom Sears, Ryan Pannell, Josh Garrison, your top three. 51 laps underway in the shadows of Joliet, Illinois. These are your point standings coming into round number 9. Donald Ray leading Tommy Withers and Andrews by 10 points. John Honeybrink sitting in 4th. Current race leader Tom Sears sitting in that 5th position, 27 points off of Donald Ray. But as these stops cycle through, Sears has a 1.6 second lead on Ryan Pannell. John Honeybrink, the first of the lap 12 pitters, on his way in. He's had enough, running approximately 40 laps right in the slot of our predicted track facts. Big shout out to the folks at di9 Designs for getting those track facts right. Honeybrink is in. Sears continues to lead, but it's a 1 second gap back to Naperville, Illinois. Ryan Pannell at his home track tonight. A fan of Tony Schumacher growing up as a child. Loved the Top Fuel drag racing until one summer in 2001 he met Scott Riggs at the Chicago Motor Speedway in what was then a Craftsman Truck Series race, and his love of oval racing was captivated, and since then Ryan Pannell has loved NASCAR, and he's come home trying to get his third ever TNT win on the inside of Tom Sears, fighting for the lead with 80 laps to go. Here goes Pannell fighting for first, sends it in to turn number 1. Sears on the outside. Can he defend the lead? No. Pannell will slide up in front of the 1-4 car, and hometown favorite Ryan Pannell, your new leader at Chicagoland. Sebastian the Cat in the background cheering for Ryan Pannell, who decides to come down as the race leader, just a bit too fast. Tom Sears behind him. Cody Pannell now coming around as the lead switches to Toby Estes. Ryan Pannell, Tom Sears, Elrich George, all down pit road. Did the hometown favorite screech the tires? Is it going to be a speeding ticket for either himself, George, or Sears down pit road? Your new leader, Toby Estes, in the 7.8 Skull Bandit Chevrolet. Fans at Smokey's Bar in Greenburgh, Kentucky, rejoice over the Skull Bandit back on the top of the scoring pylon. Dustin Painter sitting second by 2.7 seconds. And over the last 5 laps, Painter has been quicker than Estes. But as the adage goes, it's one thing to catch him and it's quite another to pass him. Georgia's Cody Pannell sitting in third, looking to get around the 7 of Tommy Reynolds, who finds himself 1 lap down. Terry Gabbard, the last car on the lead lap. The Ohio driver sitting 1.6 seconds behind the Smokies Chevrolet number 3. Cody Riggs, also from Greensburg, on the lead lap in the top dozen. Riggs sitting in that 12th position. Seth Watson rounding out that top 10. Thomas Andrews, 0.2 of a second behind him. Jeremy Brio sitting in 9th ahead of both of these drivers. Chasing down Tristan Catania in the 8th position. Older brother Richie finds himself in 7th, up 8 places from where he started. But looking at the back end of the top 5, Jason Alexander, he's up 17 places from where he started, doing an incredible job so far, and the Salem South Carolinian looking to break that deadlock with Missouri's Seth Watson. Doing a good job so far, Jaco. At the front, Toby Estes continues to lead. Dustin Painter, with a 31.19 second best lap so far, is behind him by 1.8 seconds. Cody Pannell trying to close that gap, getting around the 4.4 of Garrison and the 7 of Reynolds. But Garrison not going down without a fight. He last pitted on lap 52, so his tires that are 8 laps old, quicker than that of Cody Pannell's, and Cody losing the track position, not the scoring position, to his cousin Ryan. Ryan in 15th makes contact with the outside wall in the Mobil 1 Ford, not catching a break. 61 laps into this race, just outside these final 70 laps. Ryan Pannell with the fresh tires, not making good use of them, making too much contact with that wall, and here comes Tom Sears in the 1.4 ARCS Supra. Briley Wright, one of 3 drivers from the Bluegrass State this evening. He's in 19th, half a second behind John Honeybrink in the Home Depot Chevrolet. Honeybrink looking to overtake Tommy Reynolds in that 17th position, so still plenty of action all over this racetrack. Cody Pannell's on the way in on lap 62. He last pitted 30 laps ago, and the 2-time winner coming down for tires for some sort of adjustments. Will this open the floodgates for drivers to come down pit road? Toby Estes remains in the lead, but Dustin Painter continues to chip away at the advantage. The 78 car has Josh Garrison, flies out right in front of that 00. And here comes Ryan Pannell now to the inside of Dustin Painter in that 00. Pannell running 14th, Painter in 2nd. Points leader and Texas native Donald Ray sits in 3rd at the moment. He's 4 seconds ahead of Jason Alexander, who's closing him in. And Tommy Withers rounding out the top 5, really springing back after making that stiff contact with the outside wall in the Viagra Ford. Richie Catania sitting in 6th. He's up 9 places, as is younger brother Tristan. Thomas Andrews rounding out the top 10. And there's points leader Donald Ray on the way down pit road. And it looks like we're in our 2nd cycle of green flag pit stops. Toby Estes still your race leader, but now Dustin Painter has caught him up, and the fight for the lead before their respective pit stop rages. Is it a question of fighting for the lead or just relaxing until it's time for your designated stop? Dustin Painter says he wants the spot before the box. Painter to the inside of Estes for first. New leader on lap 66. North Carolina's Dustin Painter getting around Toby Estes for the lead. Jason Alexander sitting in 3rd. Tommy Reynolds 1.9 seconds ahead of Tristan Catania, who's got Thomas Andrews up his backside now. The number 2 Miller Genuine Chevrolet looks to overtake the DuPont Impala for that 5th position. Tom Sears in 13th. He's locked in a battle with Ryan Pannell, the number 1-2 Mobil 1 Taurus on the outside of the 1-4 ARCS Supra. Josh Garrison just up ahead by 0.6 of a second. The 11th place Coast Guard Intrepid has been reeling in top 10 driver Cody Riggs. Each of these drivers not too far from each other, all within draft range. Thomas Andrews up 14 places now that he's gotten around Richie Catania, but pit stops soon to come. Thomas Andrews able to stretch his first of 3 tire changes, 42 laps, and it's a nice strategy for that 2 car. He's now chasing down Tommy Withers a few tenths at a time. There's the 6 car, there's the 2 car. That's what 1.5 seconds looks like, and over the last 5 laps, Thomas Andrews really making hay while the sun still shines in Chicagoland for just a few more laps. There's Ryan Pannell just behind the 1-4 of Tom Sears. John Honeybrink in the 15th position. He's just behind the 1-4 of Terry Gabbard. He's looking to make that move for 14th. And does so. Cody Pannell last pitted on lap 61, so his tires aren't even 10 laps old. And the 2-time winner really trying to get a move on. There he is, splitting the 4 and the 2-0. Pannell now chasing down cousin Ryan, who's 5 seconds ahead in the 12 car. Josh Garrison to the inside of Cody Riggs. This is the pass for 10th. Garrison just up ahead as Seth Watson decides to come down in the Nicorette Chevrolet. He's really just trying to get another change, some fresh rubbers and some fuel to keep that car moving forward in the right direction. Dustin Painter and Toby Estes also on the way down pit road. They're coming for their respective tires and fuel. Bama Trama joins the chat. Welcome, Mama Vols, on this 72nd lap of competition, and look no further to the front of this race to find South Carolina's Jason Alexander. He's your new leader on lap 72. And there goes the 5-3 as he's skidding on his way down pit road. Slams down onto the apron. There's Tommy Withers, who's looking to get around that 5-3. He will lead this lap. And Thomas Andrews looks to get to his inside. Stamford, Connecticut's Thomas Andrews in the TNT MGD Chevrolet. Now to the inside of Tom Withers, and on the 73rd lap of competition, Thomas Andrews is your new leader. Withers currently in second. And Central Florida's Richie Catania sitting in third. New Jersey's Tristan Catania sitting in fourth. Josh Garrison just ahead of Tom Sears, and the defending champion Tom Sears trying to overtake Garrison for the 5th position. Sears himself approximately 10 to 15 laps away from his next pit stop. And unless a caution breaks up this cycle, we're going to be seeing pit stops every 10 to 15 laps to the end of this race. Who's got the right strategy? We're just under 60 laps to go. And for the drivers that have not pitted yet, it's still, well, it's a 2-stop race for everybody, but it's going to depend on who can make the tires last the longest. But of course, the great equalizer, the caution flag, could ruin all of this. If you've recently tuned in, I'm Rick James. You're watching Thursday Night Thunder from iRacing's Chicagoland Speedway di9 Designs. Our partners in crime this evening and every evening through Season 4. Race leader Thomas Andrews, his last time around, a 32.96 second lap. Cody Pannell, who last pitted on lap 61, his last time around, 32.31, so really only 6 tenths faster than Andrews, who pitted almost 40 laps ago. All eyes on the race leader, all eyes also on Cody Pannell. Is he rationing the tires to the very end? Donald Ray pitting on lap 63. Is he trying to follow in the skid marks of Cody Pannell? Tristan Catania's on his way in on lap 77. We'll see who else follows. Thomas Andrews continues to lead. Tom Sears, 0.2 of a second behind Josh Garrison. There's Ryan Pannell on the outside. Seth Watson looks like he's held up by Jeremy Brio. Brio on the outside in the 7-4. Did he just make some sort of contact with the outside wall? Have a look. Doesn't look like any out-of-the-ordinary scratches on the outside of that 7-4. But he was slow out of turn number 2, and he didn't just come in. Something's gone wrong with that Taco Bell Dodge. Cody Pannell in 6th, Ryan Pannell in 7th. Cody Riggs now up to the 8th position in the Smokies Chevy. Tristan Catania making his way out of pit road. Josh Garrison and Tom Sears side by side as the Massachusetts pilot chooses the high line through turns 3 and 4. The ARC's Supra to the outside of the Coast Guard Dodge, 79 laps underway. Thomas Andrews now going 37 laps before coming in. Once again, those di9 designs, track facts, letting you know it's going to be between 35 and 45 laps before these drivers come down pit road. Andrews, Withers, Catania, 2.6, 2.4. Your top 3 quickly approaching the final 50 laps. Tommy Withers is in the Viagra Ford, comes down pit road, and the 1.8 Z-Line Camry of Briley Wright also coming down for service on this 80th lap of competition. Jeremy Brio chasing down Cody Riggs, almost getting to the inside. Cody Riggs getting around that 7-4 car, but can he stay around that 7-4 car? Riggs is in 7th, Brio is in 8th. Dustin Painter to the back end of Toby Estes. Greensburg's Toby Estes already one win this season. The Skull Bandit sitting in 7th. He's going to get around Richie Catania, who just came down pit road. Also with Cody Riggs, he's down pit road. The 7-4 of Jeremy Brio also comes down pit road. That's going to move Estes into 6th. Ryan Pannell, 2 seconds ahead and losing buckets of time. There goes the 18 of Wright. Briley Wright goes for a spill down the back straight. Did he go by himself? We stay green. Wright slowly getting back to pace down the back straight. Thomas Andrews still your race leader. Briley Wright slow out of turn number 2. We stay green at Chicagoland. Let's see what happened to the Z-Line Toyota. Possibly cold tire. No, he hit the grass. Hit the grass. Look at that avoidance right there. Everybody just getting around the 1.8 of Briley Wright. One more look. That's where he hits the grass. The 6 of Withers able to avoid him. Everybody able to get around him. Toby Estes, brilliantly done to get around him. Let's have one more look with the 7.8 of Estes. This is Wright, and this is Estes. That's the second time the 7.8 narrowly avoids an accident. Briley Wright gets moving once again with some very warm tires now. He's in the 19th position. Toby is up to the 5th spot right now, 3.7 seconds behind Josh Garrison in that 44. Tom Sears sits in 3rd. Cody Pannell is in the 2nd position, reeling in Thomas Andrews at enormous times per lap. Last time around, Pannell found himself 1.6 seconds quicker than race leader Andrews. And Andrews comes in, so that's going to hand the race lead to Cody Pannell. He's ahead of Tom Sears by half a second. Sears last pitted on lap 54. Josh Garrison last pitted on lap 52. Toby Estes is within 2 seconds to Josh Garrison. And over the last 5 laps, there you see Estes quicker by at least 9/10 every single lap. Let's ride around with Estes as he tries to run down Garrison for 3rd. Estes has to let off the throttle there to avoid making contact with Garrison. He's avoided 2 accidents tonight, and it's heads-up plays like that that's going to keep him in contention. 2 weeks ago, Dustin Painter lost the race at the hands of one Tommy Reynolds that skidded up out of turn number 4 and turned the 00 Aqua Fresh Pontiac. This week, the 00 looks for redemption. Painter slowly reeling in Toby Estes. We're inside the final 45 laps of racing. There's Tom Sears in the 1-4, looking down to the inside of the 7-8 of Toby Estes. Estes will make light work of Sears. Toby gets around Tom for second. Cody Pannell up ahead. He pitted 10 laps sooner than Toby Estes, and over the last 5 laps, you can see Toby Estes has been running down Pannell by 0.7 of a second. Estes to the inside with 10 laps less wear on his general tires. He gets around the 2-8 of Cody Pannell. Toby Estes, your new leader on lap 90. 44 laps to go, and Josh Garrison brings his Coast Guard Dodge Intrepid down pit road. And the Ohio pilot, he will give up his top 10 position. It is a Oldsmobile Ford Pontiac top 3. Toby Estes leading in the Skull Bandit machine. Cody Pannell to the outside, watching Dustin Painter go to his inside. Here comes Richie Catania in the 2-4 DuPont Chevrolet. Catania, the senior, running in 11th right now, 1 lap off the pace. Trying to chase down Toby Estes to get his lap back. Estes only ahead of Pannell by 0.7 of a second. And there is Cody Pannell in the Southern Metalcraft Ford Mustang. He sits in third, last pitting on lap 61. He's got 30 laps on these tires so far, and track facts tell you he'll come down pit road sometime within the next 15 or so circuits in what would be Cody Pannell's final pit stop of the race. Drivers only get 3 tire changes in tonight's race. How long will they last? And if you've just recently tuned in, I'm Rick James. You're watching di9 Designs Thursday Night Thunder from iRacing's Chicagoland Speedway. Toby Estes leads the field with Dustin Painter in second. Cody Pannell's in third. Donald Ray currently rounds out the top 5. Tommy Withers rounding out the top 10. 4 races to go when we took the green flag, and it will just be 3 races left in the schedule. There's no playoffs, no chase. You get what you get. 10 points is the difference from first to second. There's 29 points spreading out the top 6. Seth Watson working on the outside of Tristan Catania. This is for 8th. The Missouri driver up top in the Nicorette Monte Carlo, trying to get the spot from the New Jersey pilot in the Arcs Camaro. Catania stays strong, but here comes the crossover from Wansing. Wansing sliding back in a hurry. There's the 6 of Withers now chasing him down. Withers to the inside of Wansing. Tommy Withers now in 9th. Seth Wansing sitting in 10th. There comes Cody Pannell. Good Hope, Georgia's favorite driver on the way down pit road in that 2.8 SMI Ford, making the money stop. The final stop of his race, his third and final tire change. Cousin Ryan Pannell making his way in. The Naperville, Illinois native, falling in love with the sport 20 years ago at the Chicago Motor Speedway, overshoots the pit stall, and he's got to back up on his tire change that could cost him in this race. Toby Estes still your race leader. He's got a 0.6 of a second advantage over Dustin Painter. Donald Ray sitting in third, and there's Jason Alexander in fourth. Tom Sears in pit road, but currently being scored fifth. Tristan Catania will now take the spot from the Massachusetts pilot and two-time champion. Under this pit stop cycle, Jason Alexander, our hardest charger, he's up 18 places from where he started. Donald Ray sitting in third at the moment. The number 5, G-Mac Chevy, and points leader, has a 10 marker advantage over Tommy Withers. Currently running in 6th, Thomas Andrews. He last pitted on lap 84. Andrews currently running 12th. The pressure is still on, and no room for error for Rockwall's Donald Ray. Dustin Painter and Toby Estes, they have tires that are 8 laps more fresh than Ray. And the math tells us these drivers will be down for their final stop within the next 10 laps. But who's going to blink first? Over those last 5 laps, you can see Toby Estes has been stretching out the advantage he's got over his North Carolinian rival. Caution is out. Caution is out. Daniel Maddox has had an incident down the back straight. There goes the 10. John Honeybrink also involved in the 2-0 Home Depot Chevrolet. Yellow flag is out with 33 laps to go, and everything has just changed. Let's have a look and see what brought out the yellow flag on the century mark. Daniel Maddox just getting right into the 10 of John Honeybrink, seemingly without caution or warning. Let's have a look. Have one more look from the top down, and you folks can make a judgment call here. Elridge George may have been involved in a separate incident. Let's have a look here. Oh, there he is, just trying to avoid the 1-2 of Pannell, and the Bahamian goes for a bit of a skid. Now what? This is Ryan Pannell coming to the scene of the accident here. Oh, they're just trying to avoid each other there. Pannell's going to get a little loosened too. Let's have a look from the gearbox. Oh, goodness me. There's Ryan Pannell just having to avoid John Honeybrink. Let's have a look from the gearbox of John Honeybrink. Let's run this one back here. Let's see if we can get a better view from Honeybrink's point. Not really a good look. One more look here with Dan Maddox. Just seemingly drifts up from the bottom lane to the top, and have a look at the hands of the 10 car. And that brings out the caution on lap 100. Toby Estes being scored as your race leader for now. We're going to restart inside the final 30 laps of competition. We're going to take a 2-minute break and come back with the last 30 laps of racing. Fans, don't go anywhere. You are not going to want to miss this finish. You're watching di9 Designs Thursday Night Thunder. Josh Garrison with control of the field. He sits in 10th on the tail end of the lead lap. Race leader Toby Estes sitting 5th in line with 30 laps to go. He's on the outside of Cody Riggs in the 3. Drivers just trying to get heat in their tires and survive these first laps after restart. Crash behind him, Terry Gabbard, Donald Ray involved in a big accident on the first lap after green. Third caution of the evening comes out. Points leader, Donald Ray, coming into tonight's race with a 10-marker lead. Damaged, wounded, inside 30 laps to go. Typical Life 9 says, ooh, racing. Tristan in the 48 car asking for a replay from the 48. We'll get there. Let's have a look here and see the incident. Straight away from the green flag, let's watch Donald Ray. He's going to restart on the outside row. Terry Gabbard is going to be one of those cars, a lap down or more, restarting on the inside line. Remember, fans, Gen 4 cars, Generation 4 rules. No double file restarts. Lead lap cars, single file on the outside. And you could smell it brewing. You could see it coming. The 4 of Terry Gabbard is on the outside. They're 3 wide into 3. Gabbard's into the wall, trying to get it unstuck right into Donald Ray in the 5. Look at the 53, the 6 of Tommy Withers, who's locked in a battle for second place in the points. Damaged and wounded also. Let's go back and have a look here. On board with Withers in the 6. One more look with Withers. Well, this is with Ray. And there's Withers. Nothing he could do about that one. Let's have a look with Richie Catania in the 2-4. Try that again. There we go. way right in front of him, and Catania makes it through, following in the wake of his younger brother Tristan. Let's have a look with the 4.8 Tristan Catania as well. 48 makes it through, 2-4 makes it through. Both of the drivers in the Catania family making it through unharmed, and for that, Richie and Tristan Catania, both of these drivers earning themselves a Cole Trickle move of the race.
Ice cream!
Ice cream indeed, Cole. Ice cream indeed. So both of the Catania brothers getting their Cole Trickle move of the race. Toby Estes sits ahead of Dustin Painter on the scoring pylon. Seth Watson being scored in third. And we're going to restart inside the final 25 laps of racing. Most drivers pitting within the last 10 laps as well. So for the most part, everybody's going to have relatively fresh tires, but it's those tires on the drivers that pitted most recently. Lap 106, the tires of points leader Donald Ray, the tires of Thomas Andrews, who's locked in that second place battle. Is this what he was stretching those tires for? We'll see. Andrews on the tail end of the lead lap. Toby Estes, he's going to have control of the field when we go back to green. Don't go anywhere, fans. Green flag and 25 laps to go in 30 seconds. Toby Estes this time has control of the field on the top line. Dustin Painter behind him, Seth Watson in third. It's an Oldsmobile Pontiac Chevrolet top three. John Honeybrink leading the lap down parade on the left side. There's the jump from the 7-8. Green flag is out, and it's 25 laps to go in round 9. Toby Estes leading the first lap after restart with 24 laps to go. Dustin Painter sitting in second. Seth Watson sitting in third, but he's behind the 1.8 of Briley Wright and the 2.0 of John Honeybrink. Both of those drivers not on the lead lap. Richie Catania sitting in that 6th position. Look at this hornet's nest, as Repeat 1975 would call it. Tommy Withers was just involved in that last scrape. He can't afford another if he wants to stay relevant in the points fight. Richie Catania in the 2-4, loose into one, stuck in the middle with you, me, and everybody else that can fit into that scrape. Ryan Pannell down to the inside line trying to avoid the 1-4 of Tom Sears or whoever's having that blink. Look at these drivers, 2 and 3 wide through 3 and 4. 22 laps to go this time by. Ryan Pannell surviving everything. He sits in 9th position right now, just behind the 2-4 of Richie Catania. South Carolina's Jason Alexander on the fringes of the top 10 with Josh Garrison, Thomas Andrews, and Cody Riggs in number 3, Smokies Chevrolet, looming in on that top 10. 21 laps to go this time around. Pannell in 8th, up 12 places from where he started, throwing the block on Richie Catania on the top side. Jason Alexander to the inside in the 5-3. Dodge Viper Intrepid. Catania behind him, sliding back through the field, forcing the 6 of Withers to check up. Andrews to the inside in the number 2 TNT Impala. He's got Elrich George behind him in that 15th position. Is there contact? They're so close out of this 4th corner. 19 laps to go next time around. Can you hold your breath for 20 more circuits? The 5-3 of Jason Alexander slides to the inside, now looks to the outside. Will he go 3 wide into 3? No. Sanity prevails in the 5-3 camp. But look at the 4-4 of Josh Garrison, now sliding up the inside line. It was 2-0 to go. Now 1-9 at the line. The 5-3 of Alexander dives to that inside, and the Dodge Viper Intrepid looks to make that move for 8th. Garrison almost being in that middle vacuum hole. Now watches the 6 of Tommy Withers get loose, out of shape. He keeps the Viagra Ford off the stiff, safer barrier and keeps it pushing down that back straight. The 3 of Cody Riggs in the Smokies Chevy. Can he get a spot in this top dozen? Andrews watching the 44 of Josh Garrison scrape on the outside line, avoiding the 3 of Cody Riggs. We stay green, coming to 17 laps to go, and Josh Garrison's evening, barring a yellow flag, is now in tatters. Dustin Painter leading this race, coming to the final 17 revolutions around Chicagoland, sits ahead of Toby Estes by 1/4 of 1 second. Seth Watson is 1.5 seconds behind the second place driver. Cody Pannell sitting in the 4th position to the inside of Briley Wright. Not for position, but looking to get a move on, because New Jersey's Tristan Catania is getting ever closer in the RaceArcs.com Camaro. Right to the back end of Briley Wright. Ryan Pannell in the 1-2 Mobile 1. On the outside of Thomas Andrews, Jason Alexander in the 5-3, weaving and snaking down the back straight in his Viper Intrepid. He sits 8th right now, our hardest charger so far, up 14 places and looking to break that points deadlock with Kansas City's Seth Watson. TNT double champion Tom Sears sitting in the 7th position, a 1/3 of a second behind Pennsylvania's Jeremy Brio. Briley Wright currently running in 18th, still competitive in that Z-Line Camry, just not on the right lap. Jeremy Brio is 1/2 a second behind the 4-8 of Tristan Catania. 14 laps to go next time by. The 14 of Tom Sears with some intermittent internet issues, and the ARC's Supra possibly raising some eyebrows. Wansing in 3rd, but not anymore. Cody Pannell to the inside, and the Georgian running a part-time schedule, looking to be the first 3-time winner in Season 4. Wansing not going down without a fight, weaving, bobbing to the inside line, all the way to that cream-colored white line in turn number 1. The 4-8 of Tristan Catania in the Mauve Race Arcs Chevy, looking to the inside of the Nicorette Monte Carlo, drag racing down that back straight, and it's lucky number 13 laps to go this time by. Thomas Andrews to the inside of South Carolinian Jason Alexander, and easily making his way into 8th. Toby Estes looking for his 2nd win this season. Dustin Painter, who was leading the race on the last lap 1 race ago in Talladega, had his checkered flag dreams go up in smoke out of turn number 4. Toby Estes, will he get around Painter before the last lap? Will it come down to a white flag pass? 12 laps remain under the lights of the Chicagoland Speedway. Estes right up to the door of Painter, side by side for the lead into 1. Painter gives a wiggle, gives a flick. He's got the speed on the outside. Here comes Estes looking to make the move stick. Chevrolet versus Pontiac. I keep saying Chevrolet. That 78 clearly says Oldsmobile on the front splitter, or the valence, if you will. And with 11 laps to go, Toby Estes still can't make the move stick on North Carolina's Dustin Painter. Further on back, Jason Alexander. He's behind this gaggle of race cars up here involving Seth Watson, Briley Wright, Thomas Andrews, and the like. Jeremy Brio just sneaking in front of Wright in that 1A. Briley Wright finds himself 3 laps down. Still competitive though, still running identical lap times to the cars around him and making a good go of it. Jeremy Brio to the outside of Thomas Andrews. Dustin Painter, still your race leader on Toby Estes. It will be 9 laps to go. Side by side for the race lead. 9 at the line. 8 next time by. Cody Pannell sitting in third. There is Estes. Will he make it stick out of 2? Both of these drivers with identical tires pitting on lap 100. They will put 33 laps of wear on these general tires if they can go the distance, go all the way to the end without any yellows. 8 laps to go this time by. Drag race to the line, and Dustin Painter leads that lap by 3/100ths of a second. And he's made it stick once again. Estes will have to regather all his skills, all his mechanics, and make another charge for his 2nd win of the season. Richie Catania to the left quarter panel of Jason Alexander. That's the move for 9th. Alexander up 13 places from where he started, chasing down 2-time champion Tom Sears for 8th. Cody Pannell on the outside now of Thomas Andrews. This the move for 3rd. 6 to go. Next time by. 0.3 of a second is all that's left between Dustin Painter and Toby Estes in the Skull Bandit Oldsmobile. Thomas Andrews in 3rd, trying to hold on for the podium position. Cody Pannell on the outside. Tristan Catania looking in 5th with bated breath, trying to get a spot for a podium himself. Pannell can't make it stick. Andrews with tires that are 11 laps more fresh than the Georgian. It will be 5 laps to go next time by. Further on back, Alexander chasing down defending champion Tom Sears. Jason Alexander in a deadlock in the points with this driver, Seth Watson, in the 9. Both of them trying to come out ahead. There are only 3 races remaining in the season. Tom Sears is in the wall. Does he recover? Yes. Alexander to the inside, and that leaves just Alexander versus Watson, nose to tail with 5 laps to go. Both of these drivers tied for 10th. Toby Estes to the outside of Dustin Painter for the race lead, making it work at Chicagoland, going around the outside. Toby Estes, for now, the new leader. Dustin Painter sitting in 2nd. Estes to the lead, but can he hold on? 4 laps to go, and one more look. Estes to the inside line. Making it stick down the front straight. There he is trying to cut off Painter, who's going to give him the crossover into turn number 1. And they make almost a little bit of contact. Dustin Painter does not give an inch and fights tooth and nail. Now Estes on the defense with Painter tight behind him. Less than 1/4 of a second between them, and it's 3 laps to go. Estes, does he have anything left in those tires to defend Dustin Painter? He gave up everything, all the grip on those tires, and now Painter sits within 0.2 of a second. It'll be 3 miles remaining when they hit the line. The Skull Bandit car defending against the Aquafresh Grand Prix. There goes the North Carolinian into the wall, giving it everything on that race car. 2 laps to go. White flag next time by, and Dustin Painter with a couple of chances left. Estes, will he defend against the 0-0? Will Painter throw everything at the wall to get the win? 1.5 laps remain. Richie Catania just on the back end of Seth Watson. Jason Alexander's come down to the pits. He's going to finish outside the top 10. Watson on the outside, watching Catania go to the inside. White flag is in the air. Dustin Painter with 0.3 between him and the race leader, Toby Estes. Richie Catania to the inside of Seth Watson. Both of these drivers with just over a mile to settle their 8th place dispute. Dustin Painter, will he give it a full send into turn number 3? Will Toby Estes leave turn 4 mistake-free? The Skull Bandit in the green and white famous livery out of turn number 4 with his 2nd win of the season wins at Chicagoland. Seth Watson on the outside of Catania. He hits the wall. Drag race for 8th, and it's Seth Watson beating out Richie Catania by 0.05 of a second for the 8th position. And Toby Estes from Greensburg, Kentucky, getting a well-deserved, well-earned donut on the driver's side door from Dustin Painter. Great sportsmanship from the North Carolinian. Fantastic sportsmanship. You love to see it. But it's this driver here, the Skull Bandit, who will come through getting congratulations from Tristan Catania. He will celebrate his 2nd victory of the season. Fans in Greensburg, Kentucky going crazy for their favorite. And fans at home, don't go anywhere. We're going to have top 3 on our podium interviews in just a moment. Toby Estes, Dustin Painter, Thomas Andrews, your podium at Chicagoland. On the podium now with our top 3 drivers in round number 9, starting with Stamford, Connecticut's Thomas Andrews. He gained 16 places from where he started. Tommy, you made the tires last as long as possible, and it helped when that last caution came out.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hard-fought 3rd place for sure. I mean, congrats to Toby and Dustin on their good run. It was a really good run for most of the race. We had a rough caution there. Hated for Donald Ray that he got caught up in that stuff. He was a points leader. He's having an unbelievable year or season. But yeah, I mean, I kind of screwed up that 2nd pit stop there. Kind of spun coming to pit road, or maybe it was the 1st one. I don't know. So that put me behind the 8 ball. I had to kind of try some stuff out. And when that caution fell, when I was able to get the wave around, that kind of I was able to get some tires, and I had a little bit fresh tires than the guys ahead of me. So I was able to work my way up to third. Don't think I would have had anything for Dustin or Toby, but yeah, pretty good day for the two Miller Lite Ford.
A podium for you, and next week, looking at the schedule, it's going to be a incredibly fun weekend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We'll see you in 7 days.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks for everything you do, bud.
Our silver medalist tonight, North Carolina's Dustin Painter. Well, it turned out better than 2 weeks ago, Painter. It's a second place finish for you, and you've still got your top 5 place in the points with 3 races remaining.
Yeah, I finished second 2 weeks ago. Just didn't like the way it ended. This race just burnt the tires up. Probably out in front. Just driving too hard right there. Probably should have just laid back, saved some tire, and maybe would have had something for Toby at the end. It was fun racing, and we swapped the lead quite a bit. Felt like actually I was better on the long runs, but also I was saving tire. That last run, I probably just drove it way too hard.
Thomas Andrews will go into Indianapolis with the points lead, but only a 7-digit lead over Donald Ray and Tommy Withers. You find yourself with 343 points, only 18 digits off of the championship leader with 3 races to go. What's the forecast look like for Indianapolis?
Kind of hate I missed. I went to the Martinsville truck race. Kind of hate I missed that race. Maybe I'd be in the points lead right now. But I knew I missed the race. It was going to be really hard. I'd almost had to race perfect these next few weeks just to even gain back and have some bad luck for those guys. Hate Jacket had bad luck. He was having a good run. I don't really ever want anybody to have bad luck. I'd rather beat them, fair and square and not having issues. But issues are going to happen in racing.
We'll see you in 7 days' time. Hopefully you do one better than second place. Congratulations again.
Thanks, man.
Our race-winning interview brought to you by the good folks over at di9 Designs, the custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at di9 Designs. They post graphics on all platforms multiple times a week and take requests on logos, wallpapers, iRacing schemes, and more. Follow and DM them for more details. They are not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott. Be sure to use code di9 Designs for free shipping on your diecast and merch orders over $20 on CircleBDiecast.com. And now the winner with his second victory this season, driver of the number 7-8 Skull Bandit, Toby Estes. You've cracked the top 20 in points. You sit 19th ahead of the other two-time winner this season, Cody Pannell. 3 races to go into the championship. Can you get a victory, a third victory, before the season closes out?
I mean, as a racing, you always hope for that victory, but I'm just trying to look to stay consistent. I mean, these guys are a blast to race with. Dustin and I pretty much fought it out the entire race. If you noticed, I had to throw a little pitch strategy in there to kind of get ahead of him. Then after that, just really saving tires and keeping some good lap times in.
Indianapolis, Phoenix, and Atlanta. Thursday. 3 chances to get a third victory, possibly more this season. Toby Estes bringing back the colors in the Skull Bandit. And next week at Indianapolis, do we have another chance of seeing this excellent paint scheme in Victory Lane?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I love the paint scheme. Indianapolis, I'm just going to try and run my race. Not really good at that, I don't think, or that specific track. Looking forward to Phoenix, so hopefully Phoenix will either get a win or hopefully get another podium finish.
Congratulations on your second victory this season. The fans over at Smokies in Greensburg, Kentucky, certainly rejoicing and pouring one out for you. Go celebrate, Toby.
All right, thank you, sir.
Two-time winner this season, going for 3 wins. Next week in Indianapolis, we'll see if Cody Pannell can beat him to a Season 4 hat trick. 3 races remain in the championship. Stamford, Connecticut's Thomas Andrews is our new points leader with a 7-digit lead over Rockwall, Texas' Donald Ray. Virginia's Tommy Withers tied with Donald Ray for second in the points, and for the second straight week, it is a tie for second place in those points. Monday night, the American Elite Truck Series will be here on Rick James TV, and once again, next Thursday, do not miss the quarterfinal of Season 4. di9 Designs Thursday Night Thunder from virtual Indianapolis. And until that next race, everybody, please stay safe. Do take care of each other, and we will see you all